Welcome to Confession Deceptions with your host, Gaetano Segreto.
Thank you. So, when I was around 12 or 13, my sister had a pool party with a few of her friends. She let me be in the pool as long as I didn't do anything too embarrassing, and as a younger brother, this was a tall task, but I tried my best. When everyone was going home, I got out of the pool and asked one of her friends to hand me a towel, since they were standing right beside it. She handed it to me, but then looked away really fast. I asked her what was wrong and turned to my sister and one of her other friends, who were sitting on a bench. They both did the same thing. My sister told me to look down, and lo and behold, my penis had come out of my shorts. The water was cold and everything. It looked like a little slug that had been holding on for dear life. Crazy, right? Yeah, that didn't happen to me at all. It actually happened to one of you viewers. Or did it? Welcome to Confession Deception. We asked you folks at home to submit your own confessions. And boy, were there some really weird ones. Let's watch one of those crazy stories, shall we?
You know, I was sitting in my living room one day a few years back. You know, I just come home from school and I was absolutely exhausted from the day, right? And my dad walks in the living room and I said, hey, but he didn't respond. So I looked up from my phone to see him holding a bag of my edibles. Yeah, I just had them in my drawer or something. And he was all like, can you explain to me why I found this in your room? I didn't really know what to do, so I told him that it wasn't mine. A friend must have just left it there. But my dad called my bluff and told me to call my friend and tell him to take his weed back. Well, I mean, at the time, I was in high school and I was the most popular person. So the only person I could think about calling was my best friend, but he told me that he had a job interview, so I didn't want to like call and interrupt that or something like that. I had been texting my crush earlier that day, and so I thought like that was like the only chance I had, but it wasn't an easy thing to just call up your crush, especially with the situation I was in. I decided just to bite the bullet and give her a call. Like, it didn't ring long before she picked up. I said hi and then explained that there was a bag of weed in my room that she had probably left there. I knew she smoked, so I was like hoping that would factor in whatever her saying would help my situation. But so she went quiet for a second, and before she spoke up again, she was like, oh yeah, that's the weed I got for my back pain. I was in a car accident a couple months ago and I'm still not 100%. I tried to keep my cool on the inside, but I was freaking out. Not only had she played along, but even made up a story to like go with it. I responded saying that I'll bring it back to her as soon as I can, and I hung up and looked at my dad, who didn't seem totally convinced but handed me the bag anyways. So he was all like, I'll let you off the hook this time, but I better not find or even smell weed in this house again. Get that back to her before I change my mind. So I grabbed the bag from him, right? Got my shoes on and just left. I got to my crush's house and I knocked on the door. I said hi pretty sheepishly, and then she responded by asking if I got caught with weed. So like obviously I told her, of course I did. And I asked her how she knew, and she apparently tried a similar trick when she came home smelling like weed. So she called her friend to ask if she was the one smoking. Like, I guess like her mom was there or something. So the friend didn't really catch on and said that she didn't smoke. So my crush got disciplined pretty fucking hard by her grandma. We both laughed about it and I thanked her for helping me out. I offered the bag as a thank you since I couldn't go back to my house with it. And so I was like, hey, instead of losing all this, maybe you can come over and smoke it with me sometime. She winked at me and then closed the door, and I'm glad she did, because I wouldn't have been able to get any words out after that, and I had a smile on my face the whole walk back home. And so like I think like the best part of that story is like if my dad hadn't found the weed, I probably would have missed out on hanging out with my crush, who would eventually become my girlfriend now of 4 years. So also, if you're wondering, I did end up telling my dad the truth, but he kind of expected that I was lying from the start. He just knew I'd eventually do the right thing and fess up. But like honestly, way to go, Dad, ultimate wingman. Couldn't have done this without you.
Wow, that was quite something. You know, that confession reminded me a lot of how I met my partner, except without the edibles, and also with them turning me down, and without a dad. But that's a conversation for my therapist. Let's move on to our second confession reenacted.
I was hanging out with the guy that I liked and some friends. was being pretty flirty, and everyone was a few drinks in. I'm a little awkward and timid, and he's a pretty big guy, so we somehow got on the topic of how hard I could slap him in the face. He was acting all macho, saying it wouldn't do anything. So, I got him to come with me to this hallway in my apartment, away from our friends, because I didn't want to slap him in front of them. I told him to close his eyes because it was making me so nervous. Looking back, I should have used that moment to kiss him, but my hand was quicker than my brain. I slapped him across the face. He looked just as surprised as I was, and I felt instantly terrible for slapping him. He's since brushed it off like it was nothing, and I definitely still like him. But I think it's safe to say my chances have been ruined.
Wow. I haven't seen a slap that good since the Oscars. Oh, come on, I'm not above that. I honestly have a lot of respect for it, you know? Going up there and defending August Alsina's girlfriend like that. Lots of respect. Well, that was both the recreations for today, which does, of course, leave us with one question. Which one was true? It's time to have two lovely members of the audience come down and give us their reasons as to why they think one is true. Would anyone like to come down from the audience? Anybody? You there, come on down. Hi, and welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Can you tell us your name and how you doing today?
Yeah, my name's Ian, and I'm
Nice
really
to meet
excited to be here. It's gonna be fun.
I'm glad you're happy. Which confession do you think is true?
I think the edible story is true.
The edible story.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess you're going to give your reasoning in just
Of
a minute
course.
here. If you'd like to take your table.
Fantastic.
We're going to need one more person to come down. How about you? How are you doing today, young man?
Long time viewer, first time player. Excited to be here.
Oh, long-time viewer. That is wonderful to hear.
My name's Aiden Clark, and I believe the slap to be the true story.
Slap. Well, we've got one for each story. Would you like to take your table?
I will.
Because now it's time to get into the good stuff. This is your first time joining us. We're going to have a debate where both of these lovely contestants have 1 minute to convince the audience one story is true. Whether or not they're successful depends on you. With that, let's have contestant 1 start us up. 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
So I want to address the audience directly. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just like you. I'll introduce myself even. My name's Ian. I'm a college student. And the one thing I like, and I'm sure you like, is not looking like a fool. And if you pick the slap as the true story, that's exactly what you're doing. Everyone has seen the Oscar clip, the viral one. The producers of this show are capitalizing on the fact that it's big news and trying to trick you.
It's 30 seconds remaining.
And the entire premise of the show is around wacky confessions. Why would they pick something so tame, like getting slapped in the face? Hell, I've been slapped by more women than I'd like to admit. It's very tame for the subject matter of the show. The edible story, well, it may be a little wacky, but it is just enough, has just enough realism in the story to make it feel really believable. Everyone out there, vote for the edible story. I promise you won't regret it.
And time. Well, I felt like that was fairly convincing. But we still have to see if the audience can stay convinced as they're met with another argument. Let's reset that clock. Floor is yours, Aiden.
Thank
Begin.
you. Let's get down to brass tacks here. My opponent does not know where his bollocks are. Coming at me with this. This is clearly the fake story. The edibles, absolutely ridiculous. First of all, as our host stated, dads, not real. Not a real thing. Why would dad find it? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Second of all, this can tell me this happened to two people. Two people, the likelihood of them and their crush trying to pull the same horse shit? No way. Not even a chance. Another thing.
That's,
Holding the bag
30
edibles
seconds
right into that camera. It's almost like an advertisement for the weed. Know what I heard? I heard from backdoor dealings that the producers of the show may have a hand in Weed Plus, a cannabis dealer this side of Oakville. So
Scandalous.
I'm just saying there might be a thing. And I'm not no archaeologist here, but I did believe they said you're gonna hand that bag of edibles and then smoke them. I'm no biology. That doesn't make any absolute sense to me. And for the slapper thing, bros love to be slapped. It's one of the best joys I've ever felt in my whole life. What can I say?
Not bad, not bad. But I think the audience may be a tad bit on the fence about their decision. All right, before our contestants go head to head in the last segment of the debate, let's take a look at our new show, premiering tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Well, now, doesn't that just look exciting? Now that we're back, let's move on to the last debate, the real challenge. 1 minute, the floor is shared. You've been able to get your point across to the audience, but can you get your point across to each other? 1 last minute on the clock. If you'd both like to step up, make every second count. Good luck, gentlemen. Begin.
Listen, I was appealing to the audience earlier. Now I'm just appealing directly to you. Do you want to look stupid? I know I wouldn't want to look stupid, and that's what you're going to be if you stay on the slap story side.
I'm going to stick to where the real votes matter, the audience. Do you like to be argued, to be advertised by these capitalist pigs and their weed? It is an apparent, absolute
You're
deception
falling
of the
victim
system.
to the mass media right now. This
30
is
seconds
literally
remaining.
what they warn us about. Media literacy, people, come on.
The dads aren't real. They're not.
Do you want to see a photo of my dad right now?
Sure. Let me see it. Let me see it right now.
Oh.
Let me see it.
Pulling out evidence. It's
Let's
like
see
a court case.
Look, that's like, look.
I know Photoshop. I can do that in
Look.
5 minutes. That is clearly a doctored image by Ian here.
Literally, who hurt you? Who hurt you, man?
My dad.
Ah, all right. I think I'm going to step in a little early here. That one hurts. Those are some pretty convincing arguments and some pretty biting insults. But were you, the audience, convinced enough? Now's your chance to decide for yourself which one you believe to be true. In the live chat, there will be a link to the poll where you can vote and cast your decision. In the meantime, watch how our team went around asking locals what they thought of the confessions you submitted, and even confessing their own to the camera.
Hello, welcome everybody to Confession Deceptions Hits the Streets. I'm your host, Eden Wasserman, and today we're going to be hitting the streets to find out if Sheridan students have deep, dark confessions that they've been hiding.
I was kind of drunk once and kicked my friend in the nuts. He had to go to the hospital, and the worst part was I forgot about it, and he told me again 3 years later.
Wow. Do you have any sort of funny little confessions or embarrassing stories?
Oh, my sister once locked my brother and I out of the house when we were young, babysitting us, and so we crawled in through the basement window.
One time I went for a massage and the masseuse accidentally put her finger in my asshole. She didn't say anything and neither did I. I still dream about it at night, my most embarrassing moment. One time, me and my friends stole a water heater off some guy's front lawn and we rolled it down a hill.
I threw up in a girl's winter boot in grade 5 and immediately left school, and I didn't come back for the rest of the day.
Incredible.
I've seen my mom's boobs way too many times. That's the one.
Okay.
When I was at a party and I peed in a beer can, I had a guy drink it. You man, you know, I just I might have slept with a friend or two in my group or something. Yeah, but don't tell him though.
I ate KFC for 90% of my lunches in high school, and I think I may be dying.
Well, goddamn.
I flipped $15,000 worth of vape gear when I was 18, and it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Are they actually voting?
And
If anybody
with
voted?
that,
Oh, shit.
poll is closed and the votes are in. Let's see if the audience was convinced correctly. The winner of the poll was confession number 2, Aiden. Congratulations. And let's hear, what was the true confession? It was number 2. You led the audience on the right path. Ian, how do you feel right now?
I'm just, honestly, I'm so confused. Like, what are you guys doing? Come on.
You guys
me a
had the
break.
right idea to trust Aiden. Ian led you the wrong way, but it happens. Not everybody has the intuition to know. But thank you very much for being here, both of you. Ian, let's start with you. Is there anything you'd like to confess to the viewers?
Maybe that one time I wrote an entire essay based on a Reddit post, and I got a 90.
Wow. I wish I could get a 90 on my essays. Aiden, anything you'd like to say?
I did say to the audience, I confess, you should really watch SWE 10:30 tomorrow morning.
All right, that's enough of that. This is my show, not yours. Get out of here.
Okay, I'll go.
That marks the ending of the show. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. We hope you enjoyed. Of course, we'll leave you with one last confession. In 5th grade, I threw up in a girl's winter boot, and I immediately left the school and didn't come back for the rest of the day. You're better than me because I would have transferred. Good night, everybody.